Is this knife too good? Stick around to find out why. Hey, I'm Jay, and if you use and collect pocket knives like I do, or maybe you're still searching for that ever-elusive grail knife, click on subscribe so I can help you find it. You should be looking at the specs right now. Pause and read, maybe? Let's very quickly go ahead and look at some other knives, compare them, and based on, these are all very, very similar in size. The Spyderco Native 5 and the Benchmade 4A up at the top. How about this guy, Kershaw Skyline, and let's do another Benchmade. Of course, the Bug Out. So I have to tell you, I absolutely love this Kizer Dukes Vanguard. Even though it is pretty much about the shortest blade that I like to own, at about 3 inches. What makes the Dukes Vanguard so darn good? Well, the action is absolutely incredible. It is very difficult for me to get this to fail to fire. I can't. I really have to try. And I still can't, even when I'm trying. How can the deployment be this good? Well, there's 2 reasons for that. The detent and the ball bearing pivot. Now, this detent, Kizer has this detent dialed in as perfect couldn't possibly be. The centering here is just about perfect. Once the blade is deployed, let's see, looks like it's locking up about 25%. These black G10 scales are super comfy. There are absolutely no sharp edges anywhere, with the exception of the flipper tab up on the sides. Yeah, they're just a hair too sharp. Now, I like that this handle is long enough. I wear a medium-sized glove, so you can see it's just long enough to accommodate all 4 of my fingers. The liner lock, which is inset, is very easy to get at. And I really like that they decided against including thumb studs on the Dukes here, because it helps to maintain that very slim profile. I mean, this thing rides in the pocket perfectly, just perfectly. Now, there is no jimping anywhere on this knife, with the exception, again, of that flipper tab. The weight at 2.6 ounces is just fantastic. That is just a hair above the Skyline, which weighs in at 2.5 ounces. The price, I mean, if the other stuff that I just mentioned wasn't good enough for you, the price surely has to win you over. At $69, $69, you can have this. Now, of course, there are a few things that I don't like so much, and some potential deal breakers that I see. Let's start with the stock pocket clip, which this is not. This is a clip that I actually took off of a Ganzo knife, and it fits on there just perfectly. But the stock clip, it is not deep carry whatsoever, and it is only one position, which is, what's that going to be, tip up only for righties, lefties, sorry. The flipper tab is huge. I mean, that is a big, big flipper tab. And let me go ahead and compare it to, again, the Skyline. So let me see how I'm going to do this for you guys. The Skyline has a large flipper. The flipper on the Dukes is even bigger, if you can believe that. And I'm actually thinking about modifying it, but I don't know, because I truly believe that this flipper does not need to be this, well, to be this large. This forward choil here has me just a little bit confused, because either make it big enough to accommodate a finger, which it's too small for that, because you're going to end up cutting yourself if you do try to use it that way, or, I mean, make the choil smaller and just call it a sharpening choil. But this is kind of in between, so I'm not really too sure why they did that. Now, before we get to my last potential deal breaker, I just want to remind you to go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. Now, if you would like to see how the Kizer Dukes stacks up against the Benchmade Bug Out and the Kershaw Skyline, go ahead and click up here in the corner, because I have already created a video comparing all three of these knives together. Yeah, click up there. My last potential deal breaker is going to be regarding this sharpened edge. Now, because it is a recurve, but it is just so slight. It is really tough to notice, but it is in fact a recurve edge. And now the way that I feel about this is, if it's going to be that slight, that unnoticeable, then why bother? Why even have a recurve edge? Now, I would like to know, how do you feel about knives with recurve edges? Do you tend to stay away from those knives? Are those deal breakers for you? Let me know down in the comment section below. The Kizer Dukes Vanguard it's a smaller gentleman's carry type of knife that has a hollow grind, so it is very thin behind the edge. And I will say this, I am a little bit interested in the larger 3.6 inch bladed version with S35 VN blade steel, but that knife retails for anywhere between like $200 and $220. You know what? That really just makes me a little less motivated to go out and actually buy it. This is all coming from a guy that is really not a fan of smaller knives, but this I made an exception for, and I had to have it. I had to.